The punters who go to the track have many advantages over the stay-at-home punter. They can inspect the horses as they parade and make their own judgment of a horse's fitness. They can study the bookmakers' prices, watch all the betting moves, and get the top odds for their selections. They can also compare bookmaker odds with computer tote odds. Watching the changing tote odds, especially in the last few minutes of betting, can be a profitable exercise. The odds in a betting market are different from the odds in games of pure chance like roulette. In horse racing, the probability that a horse will win cannot be calculated mathematically. In roulette, the true probability about a colour or number coming up can be calculated.
What's 5-inch way 4? Thanks.
Number 4, James.
What's more, in horse racing, the odds change. The odds about the favoured horses shorten, and the odds about the unfavoured horses lengthen.
Odds McGinty, 5-inch way at 16, 80 to 5-inch way at ticket 89, thank you.
In roulette, no matter how much money is bet on one colour or number, the odds remain the same. When betting on a race opens, bookmakers offer prices based on the past form of the horses and their own information and judgment. They cannot calculate the odds with certainty. If they're wrong in their opening prices, punters can obtain an overload. That means you can obtain odds that are better than the horse's real chance. As betting goes on, the odds reflect not only the opinions of bookmakers, but also those of punters and the money bet on each horse. If most punters are wrong in their opinions and accept false odds about some horses, they also create value odds about other horses. So if you're a serious punter and know what you're doing, you can again obtain an overload. I recommend a simple betting plan, and that is to back horses according to their price. Let's say you want to back a horse to return yourself $100. If it's even money, you have an even $50. If it's 6 to 4, you have 60 to 40. If it's 3 to 1, you have 75 to 25. If it's 4 to 1, you have 80 to 20. If it's 9 to 1, you have 90 to 10, and so on. In my book, Winning More, I take this plan further and show you how to frame your own set of prices. I call this plan Pricing for Profit. The beauty of this plan is that you know exactly how much to bet. You're betting in a systematic way. You don't have to increase your bets race by race, as most so-called racing systems demand. You maintain the same level of betting regardless of wins or losses. This doesn't mean that you can't increase your bets as your betting bank grows. But I do recommend that your bank should be at least 20 times your objective. That is, your collect on any single bet. If your objective is $10, you need a bank of $200 before you can start betting in earnest. If your objective is $100, you need a bank of $2,000. Don't expect to make huge profits. If you can manage 5 to 10% on your turnover, you're doing well. Still, if you turn over $1,000 a meeting and make a profit of $50 to $100, you're doing better than in any other form of investment I know. My plan of pricing for profit has given me many good winners over the years. There isn't as much value around these days because bookmakers and punters are much better informed and the odds on offer are much more accurate. Still, there's good value available sometimes, especially at the big racing carnivals. Early in the spring of 1990, I formed a good opinion of the South Australian 3-year-old Durbridge. On Oaks Day at Flemington, he started in a 2,000-metre race for 3-year-olds. He was my top selection, and 12 to 1 was available. He carried pink and purple colours, and this is how he won for Mick Dittman.
Durbridge is drawing away from Deadly Addiction, and Durbridge has won it. Durbridge from Deadly Addiction.
Sticking to my pricing for profit plan, I had a substantial win. 9 days later, Durbridge contested the Sandown Guineas. On my calculations, there were only 2 real chances, Durbridge and Pre-Record. After touching 5 to 4, Pre-Record was backed into odds on. At the same time, Durbridge eased from 8s to 12s. Obviously, Durbridge was the value horse, and I bet accordingly. Let's pick up the description with Durbridge in the pink and purple, and pre-record with the dark blue sleeves and a white spotted cap.
Pre-record starting to unwind a strong run. Durbridge is coming home well, and so is Bold Rancher. Pre-record hit the front at the 100. Durbridge is starting to eat up the ground. Pre-record a half in front of Durbridge. Pre-record a nose. Durbridge goes home best. Durbridge takes the lead from Pre-record, and Durbridge wins the guineas from Pre-record by a long neck.
I was a very happy punter after that race. It had been a frustrating program for me that afternoon, and winners were hard to find. Yet that win on Durbridge ensured the day was very profitable. I'd followed my pricing for profit plan. I backed Durbridge according to my opinion of its chances. It was a very satisfying win. As a punter, you'll have wins like that. Your calculations may differ from mine. When I'm crying, you may be laughing. The point, however, is that you'll always be betting in a logical, rational and systematic manner. Bookmakers don't fancy punters like that. Of course, many good overlays are beaten, sometimes by a short head. Still, the fact remains that there are big overlays to be found, overlays just as good as Durbridge. In general, you'll find that bookmakers offer better odds than the tote. On average, bookmakers work to 8 or 9% profit, although in small fields they can find themselves betting to a loss. The tote cannot lose and works to a profit of 14 or 15%. But the tote and the tab do provide punters with value in some exotic forms of betting. My research shows that quinellas and trifectas provide serious punters with some great overlays, much bigger than the win overlays on horses like Durbridge. I suggest you read Chapter 17 of my book Winning More, The Lure of the Exotic, and then read Chapter 4 and 5 of my latest book, Winning in the 90s. Those chapters will tell you all you need to know about the mysteries of exotic betting. For some years, the great race caller Ian Craig and I worked together on a racing program for Sydney's Channel 7. Every Sunday morning we'd replay the Sydney and Melbourne races and try to predict future winners. On the Sunday morning before the 1988 Melbourne Cup, I was asked to give my selections. I nominated Empire Rose first, Natski second and Narbotto third. Empire Rose and Natski were equal favourites at 5 to 1, but Narbotto was a 50 to 1 chance. Naturally, I didn't take just one trifecta. I took many combinations, especially with Apollo Run, a 16 to 1 chance, and my fourth selection just behind Narbotto. Let's pick up the call.
Empire Rose, the leader. Apollo Run cutting it down, followed by Narbotto. Natski down the outside, but still Empire Rose in front with 100 to go. Here comes Natski, a length and a half behind her. Empire Rose 3/4 in front. Natski desperately ridden, tries to reach her. Empire Rose just in front and held on. Empire Rose 1.5 head Natski.
I'd achieved the impossible and tipped the cup trifecta in one. However, Natski was the horse that provided least value for me. If Apollo Run had finished third and Natski fourth, I would have won 10 times as much and gained the biggest win in my betting career. And for a few strides in the straight, that win looked a real possibility. If you're a serious, dedicated punter, you have the chance of a big win in exotic forms of betting like the trifecta. Such a win can transform your whole betting career, and you'll have achieved that win not through sheer luck, but through your own skill. Apart from the money won, that sense of achievement is a wonderful feeling. And if you're a really serious punter and want the best information available, you should subscribe to Warren Block's Superform Eagle Form Racing Service. It's out every week and it's full of facts to help you win.